Hey everybody, welcome to my driveway, live in Tin Man's driveway. How you guys doing? I'm feeling much better. Thank you for the messages. A couple of you guys reached out like, hey man, hope you're feeling better. I am. I was really sick last weekend. I was a little under the weather for a couple days and right back in the shop. And then it happened, friends. I hurt myself pretty good this week. Um, I was moving vehicles around, moving these things around. When you have as much driveway as I do, you know, all this stuff here, you guys can see. When you have this much driveway, I clear this, this gets blown in. You guys can see all the drifts. And when you have this much driveway, snow clearing, it's a bit of work, right? I'm lucky. I feel blessed. I have that awesome skid steer. But anyways, friends, this was all drifted in about, that's how deep it was, to the point where you needed a big truck to get in and out of here. So Wednesday night I was feeling better, or better enough that I'm like, okay, I'm going to fire up the skid steer. I will report that battery cable that was loose, I fixed all that last time. My skid steer starts beautifully again. Anyways, friends, I moved the big Dodge and I put it there and just left it running like I do, because there's no snow at the end of the driveway. And the end of the driveway here is, I'll show you guys. The end of the driveway here, this is all nice grippy snow. Right here, you see this stuff? The end of my driveway, oh, I better be careful, is black ice. So I was right here, friends. See this stuff? Yes, I'm wearing Crocs, but right here, friends. So I parked my truck right here, and as I was getting out, I'm going to pause it and show you guys. Okay, I was climbing out of here, and I was wearing my slip-on Timberland winter work boots. They're almost like a cowboy boot, but not. They're very grippy. I was getting out of the truck here, friends, and as my foot touched the ground, it slipped out, and I cranked my head on this, friends, pretty hard. Knocked me a little senseless, and as I got my wits about me, I was laying under the truck. So needless to say, I'm okay, friends. Pretty vicious whiplash. My neck is not happy. It's been a couple days, but I've had neck issues for, well, a long time, friends. I had a really bad car accident in, I don't know, I'm going to call it, what year is it, 2026? I had a really good car accident in about 2012, 2011. I got T-boned at work in a service truck. The car hit me doing 120 kilometers an hour, so about 80. I ain't complaining, friends. I'm still here. A lot of people get into an accident like that and they don't live to talk about it. So, but I hit the left side of my head on the pillar of the truck, and my service van was 3 feet narrower than it started out. But anyways, friends, so I'm taking her easy. But on that note, let's go to the shop. I filmed this earlier this week, friends, when I was before I cranked my head, I was working in the shop. So here's a little update on the Harley. And when it's time to put that thing together, friends, I'm gonna kind of show you guys the deal. Putting together a 4-stroke V-twin with valves and checking your deck height and all that stuff. I won't do a super in-depth video, but I'll definitely film that as I put it together. Anyways, here's where I'm at with my Harley. I got my pistons, and I'm showing you guys what I'm doing. Okay, let's start with, I got a lot of things on the go. I ordered these. These are nice little clamp mounts. I figured I'll put 2 of these on my risers, and I can mount this unit right here. I got a new clamp for it. I just kind of roughly put it together. And I'm basically just going to make a mount bracket that goes across. And then these will end up on my risers, and voila, 5-inch Pro Tack. So that's coming along. Again, I could have bought a new one, but it's winter. It's like tinkering. And I mean, why spend $800 on a 5-inch tack when you can spend $100? And of course, you know, about 5 hours labor, but I'd do it anyways, right? So that's coming along nicely. I took the ring off, straightened it more, I painted it a nice flat black. Don't want anything that's going to be shiny. Next thing I'm doing, I'm cleaning up my combustion chambers on my heads for the Harley. These are J Precision ported Stage B heads. These are high end. They use really high end valve components. Somebody was asking me about why don't I zip these heads apart and get them rebuilt. I was thinking about that, but honestly, these valves don't look burnt. You know, they look in good shape. And like I said, I know the kind of valves that are in here. They're not cheap valves, and I would think they would last longer than the miles that they've been put on them. Somebody mentioned a comment or posted a comment and said, "Hey, just curious," and good question. I just thought, my experience with Harley, especially when the heads have been built to this level, they usually last a long, long time. And again, we already checked. We have 590 lift cams. Those are high lift. Maybe if you're talking a V8, a hot rod, that's not high lift for Harley. That's not bolt-in. You're not bolting those in a stock motor. But that's, you know, when you guys are running 630, 625 lift, 660 lift. So, and again, on a Harley, compression is the king. You make big compression, you're going to make a lot of power, but the drawback is heat. Okay. So you gotta kind of you gotta have some tact. So what I'm preparing to do with these, I filled these full of Seafoam. It's their top dressing spray. This stuff eats carbon. So I just propped these up like this tonight, and I filled them up and I let them soak, and most of the carbon came right out without really too much in the way of scrubbing. It was quite easy. I may give these a bath in the ultrasonic. I haven't decided yet. Just to make them real clean. Reason why I'm doing this, I'm going to get a piece of plastic. I'm going to make a block off plate, flat plate with a hole in the middle. I'm going to level these things. Okay. And then I'm going to take a syringe like this, not this one, and I'm going to fill it full of fluid. And I'm going to measure my combustion chamber CCs. And the reason for that is I picked up my JE. These are 324722. These are a forged JE 10.5 to 1 compression piston. These have 8.7 cc domes, okay, and generous valve cutouts. But okay, friends, so I've already measured my bores. These should fit in there nicely. I have about 3 thousandths clearance, so we know that's going to be good. Your compression height on these are 1.265, so that is center of the pin to the top. Okay. But what I want to do here, friends, I did not get these heads ported originally. Now, I could call J Precision. I hear they are great to deal with. They are top of the line if you're talking Harley heads in Canada. Also, shout out to Jake's Machine. Jake is out of Winkler, I believe now. He wasn't when I used to use him. Jake built me a set of crazy heads back in the old days. He's still around. He's top notch. I would use him, but J Precision's way up there too. So anyways, friends, without blathering on, I don't know what all this stuff is. Now, this looks like a factory combustion chamber to me, but I don't know. These may have been milled 10 thou. They don't look like they've been milled to me, but maybe they were milled. So Really, friends, you can't rush something like this. The simplest thing to do is CC your combustion chambers. There's all kinds of calculators. I can literally put in my deck height, which is I will bolt my cylinders down with my new pistons, and I will measure with a micrometer to see, are the pistons proud, are they low, or are they flat? I already did a quick mock-up. My old pistons were at 0 deck height, meaning they were flush with the top of the cylinders. So whoever machined my cylinders also machined it for the deck height. It's good to start with 0 deck height. Okay. My new pistons, the measurements are pretty much all the same. JE and Wiseco are owned by the same company, so a lot of the things on there, or a lot of the distinctive features in their pistons are the same. But I'm going to measure the deck height on my new pistons. Okay. Take that measurement. CC of my combustion chamber, CC of my pistons, my put in my camshaft profile, all that stuff, okay, and then pick a head gasket. I want to go back to, my guess is this motor was 10.5 to 1 compression, just from what I see. It had a 30 thou head gasket, but again, friends, my old pistons, although those are supposed to be 10.5 to 1 pistons, I'm not 100% sure. I want to put this thing back to how it was. It ran good. It seemed to be reliable, even though it is a part on the bench. And so my old motor, friends, the last time I built a precision built Angry motor, it was closer to 11 to 1 compression. Great motor, very, very particular. It was hard to start in the summer, and it ran very, very, very hot. So I'm an old boy now, and I just want to do some cruising with the ability to twist the go fast side and make her go. So anyhow, friends, I'll probably show you guys all that. What else? I ordered new cam chain tensioners, the shoes. The ones I ordered were wrong. We won't talk about that. They're kind of mislabeled. It is what it is. So I ordered another set. And lastly, one of you guys asked me, a lot of you guys have Harleys. One of you guys asked me how I have to measure my valve to piston clearance at top dead center. I have all the specs for my cam. That's why I looked at the cam. I know I have generous cutouts of those pistons. I'll probably be okay. I need about 100 thousandths on the exhaust and 60 to 80 thousandths on the intake. Okay. I'm going to have to measure that, friends, because again, I've now changed pistons. I did not want to do that for this reason. If I just put rings in this bike, it would already be back together, I guarantee. But anyways, so now I have hydraulic lifters. Now you can't control whether these things bleed down. So I have to check my cam at top dead center, and also, but I have to do it in a way that it won't move. Well, I have hydraulic lifters. So what I did, friends, I took the lifter that was no good anymore. I took the guts out of it. Let's see if I can. Okay. Now all you do is, this is an old trick, old hot rodder trick. Small block guys know this. All you do is, oh, well, I lost a piece there, friends, but that doesn't really matter at all. All you do is, normally these go this way, and there's a spring under there, okay? All I did is I took the spring out, flipped it around, okay, and there's a little shim in there. Put that back in. You guys get the idea, okay? There's a little shim in there. Let's see if I can get that back in. There's a shim in there and a cup, okay? Now, I can put this all back together the way I had it, okay, with no spring in it, and I now have a solid lifter. I now will adjust my intake and exhaust push rod. I only need to do this on one cylinder because if the deck heights are the same, then they're the same, friends. I'm not worried about it. The cams are each cam has the same profile, okay? But I need to adjust my push rods to 0 lash, so no up and down, and you can spin them with my essentially collapsed lifter, and check with clay my valve to piston clearance. That way I know I'm never going to top a valve, because once in a while, friends, I might rev this thing to the moon. This bike will probably rev to 6,500 RPM, maybe 67. I don't know where the rev limiter's at. Well, we will find out this year now that I have a tack. But if I rev this thing to the moon, you're going to get some valve float. Not a ton with this setup. These are high performance valves, keepers, valve guides. So at least these are marked J Precision. They have the J Precision medallion on them. So I at least know what I'm dealing with. But so that's where I'm at there, friends. Other than that, the Harley's almost ready to go together. It'll be a couple of days of measuring and checking and putting stuff together, and before I get this thing back up and running. I'm not in any rush. I've seen guys. I seen a guy one time put his motor together. When he turned it over, he topped the valve. I don't want that to happen. So. Anyhow, friends, I'm going to take her easy for another day or two, and I need to rest up, friends. You do the exercises when you have whiplash. You kind of slouch and put your chin back and slow, gentle movements. After my last accident, I was going to see my chiropractor, Dr. Peter. He's been taking care of me for, 25 years, friends. Really good man. But yeah, I would go and see Dr. Peter like 2 or 3 times a week. And after about 6 months, he got me rolling again. Of course, I went right back to work, and fellow's got to do what he's got to do. But so anyhow, friends, happy Friday night in the shop, and we'll be back at it. I need a day or two, if you know what I'm saying. Thanks for watching. Take her easy. Later.